Hi, you are listening to Rawganism, a flowcast where we question everything we think we know and don't know, like why do we do the things we do? How can we unlearn to relearn? It's about some personal stories, low moments, funny adventures, nutrition, mental and physical health. Anyways, big questions like how the hell do we do this thing called life? Stay tuned.
The first time was better.
Oh, shit.
The first time was better.
We had to restart. I feel like
technical
my voice,
difficulties.
Yeah, it's even happening right now, but I think it's outside, and I think it's the volume of the headphones. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, we're back and we're here.
Yeah.
Welcome back to you. Michelle, how are you?
I'm blessed and highly flavored.
Don't steal my shit. You get your own thing, okay? You know damn well that's mine.
I don't know what to say. I feel like I don't know yet. I have to say that I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm happy. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, you know, I like when I get those types of responses like I'm good. I like to, give the question, well, what makes it good? What makes it great? But I'm not going to put you under that much pressure.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it eventually.
Yes, yes, we will.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we hope you guys are fine, doing good, wherever you are, whether it's nighttime, daytime.
The evening.
Well, nighttime.
Midday, I'm just putting out all these terms.
Midday,
the eve.
Midnight.
The night, the mid.
At work, maybe maybe you're listening in your ears.
Yeah, maybe you're listening to this just, I don't know. At school, I don't know, at home.
Yeah, maybe at home.
In church, that's an option too, at the airport.
Yeah, in bed, without your shoes on the bed, obviously.
Damn, yeah.
Some people do that.
I know.
Yeah, that's nasty. We're not going to get into it, though. I don't want to put no one on the spot, but that shit is nasty. Sorry.
Yeah, please take off your shoes when you, before you enter the house.
Yeah. There's a reason why in Japan they remove their shoes, before they walk in the house. It's because, do you know how many stuff you carry on the sole of your shoe, on your
carrying
shoe?
Around that negative energy of whatever you're stepping on all day.
That you're going to bring, inside the house. And then you're going to walk barefoot all over the house.
After that. You know the blue light thing where you you shine the light and you see if you that would be crazy. That would be a very interesting show actually.
Yeah, if you could do that with the footsteps, I think people would be surprised.
Yeah, holy shit, my house is disgusting.
Yeah, sometimes with Ash, I tell her sometimes she wants to wear shoes and I forgot.
Hold on. If I need to grab something extremely quickly, with the quickness, and I'm I have everything, I don't like putting on my shoes because it's just a hassle for me. It's just a hassle for me.
That's true.
But I've changed my ways, obviously, Mm-hmm. But and I was raised.
But then you still tippy-toe. You're still tippy-toeing.
I know. I guess for me, it's just it doesn't make it better if I tippy-toe and also go really, really fast before.
But you're still touching the ground.
I know.
Unless you're flying.
I know. It's not because I love germs, but I just need to get what I need and get going.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Let's get, since we're there, right? It's been, we started our cleanse on obviously January 1st.
Yes, we did.
While y'all were outside dancing.
Babes, stop condemning. Stop condemning.
I'm just kidding. While y'all were dancing outside in the club.
By y'all, you mean all y'all except us too. While y'all were out there.
We were at home in bed at the same time, at that time. But yeah,
we were chilling.
Yeah, at January 1st, we started our cleanse. It is currently mid of the month already. We've done our 2 weeks, and so we just figured we would do a breakdown or just going over what's happening thus far, and also talking about what to do when your back is against
the wall. Leo, you gotta stop this. You gotta stop trying to jump. Stop this. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Our tuxedo cat likes to disrupt.
Yeah, he does.
Our sessions every now and then, but we still love him.
Yeah,
we still love him. We love you, Leo. Yeah. So this was one of the many revelations that we, came across.
Yeah.
In these, first 2 weeks of the fast or the cleanse. Sorry, the fast cleanse.
The cleanse. Fast cleanse.
Yeah. And so, yeah, what to do when your back is against the wall, It's just, at one of our friends' birthday, their birthday party, their partner had said something like that to them, like, hey, X, you remember, like,
yes, I remember.
Yeah. And I was just like, that is so beautiful, because it is so important, like in life you could let the pressures, get you up against the wall, and then the pressure is just pushing and pushing and pushing it, and you're just allowing that pressure to just,
let it crush you.
Let it crush you, or you could get your back off the wall by only, like, pushing up, pushing forward. So yeah, it was that moment that, like, it's so weird sometimes how, like, we were reflecting on this today, but that's also something I had heard, recently.
Yeah. I totally forgot.
It's like sometimes there's small messages out there.
Yeah, no, that's true.
There's small messages out there.
Okay. So before we get into that, so how has it been for you? Because currently what we're doing is having like a morning juice as usual. Like a green juice, like celery, green apples, like cilantro, lime, obviously some turmeric, some ginger.
Do we put spirulina in any of them anymore?
No.
Okay.
The thing is almost done. We can add it. It's not a problem, but it doesn't really matter because we're getting like a lot of like, what's it called? What's the...
but the chlorophyll, something like that?
Yeah, the chlorophyll. Okay. Yeah, we're getting a lot of chlorophyll in the with the celery, everything that's green. So that's what we're doing in the morning, and then most of the day we're eating mostly fruits, and then in the evening we'll have a smoothie bowl, and then we'll have like some kind of like end of day like a salad, or like Ash is very into sushi sandwiches.
That's what we're calling them, sushi sandwiches. Yeah, it's like the seaweed. The unseasoned one,
the nori sheet,
the nori sheet, and then you like put avocado and like carrots or like mushrooms, and you could squeeze some lemon on it and stuff. It's just really, really nice. I love it. I could eat that for the rest of my life for sure.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Also satisfies my savory, my savory cravings.
Yeah.
So it's like still raw, which is still aligned
it
to
is
like
raw.
Our cleanse.
It has to be raw. It cannot be cooked, and the whole point I think is just not to over mix things. So even when I make a salad for us to eat, it's basically just it might be like kale, some like peppers, the little peppers, bell peppers, some peppers, like garlic, and that might be it. And then for the dressing, it'll just be like a pressed lemon juice with water. A little bit of salt, like Himalayan salt. It's a mix of Himalayan salt that I put in, and Celtic salt. That's actually pretty good. So a little bit of that in there, and usually that's pretty much it. Like it's not like we're adding like spices or whatever.
No, not at all. Yeah, just lots of fruits and lots of veggies. And
so it's just to make sure to digest, like make the process of digestion like smooth and easy for the gut to digest. And the more you start mixing things, the more it gets complicated, right? Because everything basically has like a digesting time, right? And so when we go to the restaurant or we eat outside or even at home, we don't think about it, right? We're gonna mix this and that and that and that. And I mean, when it's the same category, like a vegetable, right? It's gonna digest approximately the same time. But if you add like a vegetable with like a cheese, you know, and on top of the cheese you add like a starch, then on top of the starch you add meat, then all of these items actually digest like not at the same time, and so then that's when you start having like an uncomfortable moment while digesting. So yeah, so we're just trying to lower our like different mixtures, like keep it very simple. Basically,
yeah. And simple's really good. I really learned to appreciate simplicity in like your meals. Also less hassle to kind of like whip something up, and everything still tastes good. So yeah, for me in this process so far, so the first time I had joined in on the cleanse, I struggled with energy. This time I don't have that problem.
Okay.
Unless, like, for example, now it's nearing, you know, the womanly time of the month. You know what I mean? Not to be too TMI. So, like, sometimes the energy might fluctuate a little bit, you know? Yeah. But prior to that, my energy has been really good. Really good sleeps. Like, I have somewhat of an overactive imagination, so I just, like, think a lot, and then I overthink, and then I could overthink. It's just a whole, you know, I'm just always thinking about everything all at once, you know? So sometimes it would be hard for me to stay asleep at night. Just like, you know, there were many moments I had to tell my brain to shut off, you know, just so I could sleep. So what I've noticed since doing the cleanse, since the start of the cleanse, is when I put my head down, I'm out into the morning, and even if I do wake up in the middle of the night, it's usually for some reason, you know, maybe go to the bathroom, and then as soon as I get back in bed, it's like I'm out again, which is great, because usually in the middle of the night, when I wake up, and sometimes it's just cause, and then my brain, like, it wants to start thinking. Yeah, you have to stop and then I'm like, damn, and then you just basically exhaust yourself thinking until you fall asleep. So being on the cleanse, it's done me a really great service in this area of my life. Yeah, I mean, the way that we have always eaten is quite similar to what we're doing on the cleanse in some kind of way. Like, we've always been like healthy foods, healthy eating, like eating at you know, the best time, you know, like making sure like we go to the bathroom, having like water, all that stuff. So I really feel like our actual like venture into being plant-based and, you know, just fruitarians, it's just really elevated, you know, something that we were already doing, you know. So as far as cravings, no cravings.
Since the beginning?
Since the big, I mean, not since the very, very beginning. Like, but I didn't have cravings for specific things. Okay. Yeah, it was just like, you know, that when the withdrawal is starting, you know, you're just craving, you know, just something. It could be something sweet. Usually it's something sweet. Yeah. You know, because you're removing the sugar. Yeah. Right. Or like the you have the natural sugars from the fruit. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, like this refined processed sugar, this white sugar, it's basically a drug. Yeah, it is. Did you know it's basically it's a drug, you know? Yeah. And what's interesting is that, like I mentioned, I finished this book a while ago called Relentlessness. I don't remember the author's name, but I, you know, will always remember his face. And he was explaining how when he puts the athletes under like a detox, a sugar detox, and then, you know, maybe a couple, like day one, he asks like, oh, like, how's it going? Oh, I'm fine. Okay, cool. Day 3, oh, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Yeah. And so he knows that by a certain, if you have been following the detox, you know, by a certain date, you're gonna be acting this way because your body's going through withdrawals from the drug called sugar. White sugar, the devil's drug. You know, and it's just so funny how like as days would progress, and he would check in and be like, oh, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. He would know that, like, that he is lying. Yeah, he is lying. Yeah, it's not possible. Yeah, so I think that's what it was in the very beginning, right? Where it's just like, we eat healthy, of course, but prior to the cleanse, we still like enjoyed certain things, right? It's the holidays, so there's like, we ate cookies and like,
no,
a
honestly,
plethora of things, of options, and you just want everything.
and that's the thing. I definitely noticed like the more you have, the more you start having those treats, those like sweet things, the more you're gonna crave it, and that's why you really have to be in balance, like know when to stop the craving and replacing with something else, because if you let yourself go,
you could clear the whole container.
yes,
You
and
could
it's
clear.
gone. Yeah, so I've definitely seen before the cleanse, I've seen an increase during the whole month of December, where it's like, oh, the more I want to crave, like almost every day I'm starting to crave a little bit of these things, whereas before, for the whole duration of from June to December, I had no real cravings whatsoever. And so in December, it really surprised me, because I was like, oh my God, this is how I was high as hell.
On that devil's drug.
Yeah, I was high as hell. No, seriously.
On sugar.
No, you're high on sugar. Yeah, and then it's that thing where you miss it. It's like, oh my God, I want like a sweet little thing. It's
You're
like
on Instagram scrolling, looking at. I'm not gonna lie, that's what I be doing sometimes.
And my whole Instagram is just food, bro.
Yeah, the pastas, the pizzas. Look at us right now.
I'm like imagining the whole thing, but
I'm just like, when I'm done this cleanse, I don't know what I'm gonna eat.
but then
Just
again,
kidding.
by the end of the 3 month, right, we're gonna probably be at a point where it's gonna be like,
you just don't. You have control.
You have a lot of control, but I feel like we're still in the beginning, so there's still that transition where you're gonna want these things because you remember them. But then I feel like, you know how they say after like 30 days or a month, that's when that thing can start being a habit, right?
Yeah.
I feel like for some people it takes a little longer, but just to think about doing this for 3 months, that's enough time to make it a habit. So will we be craving those things and wanting all the crazy things?
Probably not.
Probably not, but would we still want them in a way? Yeah, because it's like, well, it's been a while. We're cleaner, we're healthier.
A little fried chicken and mac and cheese every once in a while it's not gonna hurt nobody. Lasagnas and pastas
but unlike so the first 3-4, I feel like the first 3 days I was a little tired.
Okay.
Felt sleepy at work, and then I was having dates to kind of like give me like a boost of energy and like sugar, and then I think I had small headaches too for the first 3 days, and so that's like a detox like symptom. You know?
That's something I forgot to mention, because you know what, it was for a short period, like maybe the first, second and third day. The second and third day, maybe even the fourth, just not necessarily a headache, but just something like with your head. But it was so like just temporary. Yeah. That like now that doesn't happen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Me too. So now I feel like I'm more stable. There's no headaches. There's less cravings too. I had. The first week, I could have like.
Well, you kept your composure, because I was just like,
did.
oh, she seems like she's doing fine.
Yeah, no. The first week I was like, God, I'm passing by here and there, like.
Yeah, when we go.
Is there an option where I can manage to maybe?
The trick is just to not look.
You cannot look. You cannot think about it. You have to close your nose. You cannot smell. You have to close your nose too, like you cannot breathe in some areas.
You got to be a mouth breather at that point.
Yeah, and then that's not even good for you, but at that moment that's what you need to do.
Yeah, just whatever it takes, whatever helps you not kind of succumb to the cravings, but also like even if you do, don't punish yourself. For the first the first couple weeks or the first week or two, it's like yeah, it'll be pretty strong. And I think it's just about finding your balance. And
Yeah.
like, I mean, what we have going on with the smoothie bowls and eating a lot of fruit, like we're eating fruits that we enjoy. Like you love pomelos, I love mangoes.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like you have to take 10 apples with you to work.
Do you
know?
realize you love the expensive stuff, huh? Because the mango I take, that one is a very good one.
Well, I didn't ask you to go get that one, okay? I recently I just found out how expensive they were when you told me, and I was just like, oh. I still love them though. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
they're for the size. It's pretty good. Like, because when I think about the little yellow mangoes, they're small. Sometimes they're a little more acidic, you know, and sometimes you get them, they're already bad. Like
this type that you're getting is perfect.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
So, you know, whatever. And it lasts for the whole week, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. But we have pomelos, kiwis, bananas.
Yes.
Yeah, I try to switch it up.
Pomegranate every day, at least I try.
And we had, was it guava?
We have some guava. Arugula we did.
Carrots and kale.
Carrots, kale, purple cabbage. What else? Obviously the celery, but that's in the juice.
Apples, pears.
Yeah, apple, pears. What else?
Lemon, lime for like.
Yeah. And I drink lemon water every morning. I've been. So how's your bowel movements since we started?
Frequent.
Have you had a moment where you kind of like you felt a little constipated in the beginning of the class?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now it's better.
Oh yeah, way better. It's like clockwork.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like clockwork, and it's. I mean, definitely sometimes after, like when you feel your tummy a little, you know.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a pain. It's kind of like you feel like something like moving, because you know we drink the we drink the shit tea, right?
Yeah.
But there is a name for the herb, so
Yeah. We drink a shit tea, the
shitter tea.
Yeah, that's basically the tea for the colon.
Yeah.
And then we drink the parasite tea for, like, you know, because we need to kill the worms. So I'll put the herbs like that I put in the mix in my jar, like on the description. But yeah, it can be frustrating in the beginning, because they're very bitter, and initially I think for a lot of people they would benefit more from having the capsules, like I was saying earlier. But at the same time, the thing that I don't necessarily enjoy about the capsules when it comes to that is that with the water, when you drink the tea, it's gonna flush your intestine, right, and the colon. Whereas when you take the capsule, it's gonna obviously dissolve and do the work, right? But it doesn't come with the liquid as much. You know what I mean? So I feel like it does the same thing, but in terms of like having the water comes and flow with the herbs around, and
you think it's like a drain pipe.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, honestly, that's what I'm thinking in my head right now. So yeah, but those herbs are usually very bitter, and if you come from like eating a lot of sweet things, a lot of like sugary things, a lot of processed things, trust me, you're going to want to almost puke, because your taste buds are used to not having any sort of bitterness. So you're actually lacking some flavors on your tongue. And when you start tasting the bitter herbs, it'll just taste strong as hell until you keep having it. And after a while, it's actually better, you can drink it. But in the beginning, bro. And like, I think, actually, you know what's funny? I think the first week or so, sometimes I was feeling like I'm gonna puke those herbs, because
Really?
yeah, I was like, especially the parasite, like I think it's the black walnut herb. The black walnut herb, the powder in there, it makes the tea look black, and then you're like, no, this is strong.
Yeah, I find neither of them to be, you know, like bad. It's like, yeah, it's a little bitter, but you just drink.
You have mature taste buds. I think it's easier for me when it's cold, not when it's hot, because when it's cold, it's like I don't taste anything.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I prefer to do the teas like warm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I feel like it just like kickstarts my system, and then
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
But then I drink like temperature water, room temperature water with the lemon when I wake up. So when I have the teas, it's okay. Oh, okay. But yeah, so this is the first 2 weeks is generally like there's nothing really. You're still kind of like
It's the Kickstarter.
Yeah, you're still transitioning, cleaning your guts, right? So it's not like there's gonna be like necessarily big things happening, and you're gonna have detox symptoms, and sometimes detoxing can take up to like 1 to 3 weeks. For some people it can take a month. But I feel like it comes when you are like, you maybe just changed your diet and you're still kind of dirty inside. Whereas for us, we've had a pretty clean diet for the past couple of months. And so our
We were
detoxing,
even kind of like at least for me, and sorry to cut you off. For me, I mentioned that I was already kind of like starting the cleansing process.
Yeah.
So like I was like with what I was like eating to kind of like prepare my body for it. Just to kind of explain what you just said.
Yeah, no, and that's what it is. It's better. You have less of those symptoms when you make sure you take maybe at least 2 weeks or 1 week before to clean your diet. Because if you go from eating burgers every day to doing a cleanse, bro, I think you're going to suffer. I think you're gonna have headaches. No, seriously.
It'll be a drastic
sick.
change.
Yeah.
Especially if you stick to it.
Yeah. It can make you sick, and you'll feel like no, it's not working. It's not for you. But that's exactly the point. It's actually what it's supposed to do.
It's working.
Yeah, it's working well. So yeah. But anyway, so usually not a lot of things happen, But recently, 2 days ago, something happened to me. And this is the topic of today, because today we're gonna talk about what to do when your back is against the wall, and we are currently on a Sunday, and Friday it was day 10 of the cleanse. And January 10, obviously, because we started on the 1st. And so on January 10th, I quit my job. Is it the first time that I quit a job? No. Is it the second time? Yes, it is. Is it the happiest moment of my life? Yes, it absolutely is. But was it a tough decision? Yes. Was my back against the wall? Yes. Did I feel a pressure? Yes. Did I feel like it's a moment where you are absolutely forced to make a decision for yourself of whether you choose to stay comfortable and have your steady income, money, or do you leave and choose yourself when it means leaving an environment where it's toxic and not helping you, and could potentially not benefit me while I'm cleansing, because oftentimes, because right now, right, we're not just doing like a body or physical cleanse. We're also, it affects.
I mean, food is spiritual.
Yeah, it affects
it really
all
is.
part of you.
Psychological too.
Yeah, mind, body, soul, everything.
So it's
right?
really just like it's cleanse for real.
Yeah, so.
An actual cleanse.
Yeah, so I couldn't, it was a situation where it's like, my cleanse physically is going well, but then mentally at work, it's like a situation where you go every day and you dread it. And it used to be so well before, there was no problem, but obviously you're sometimes you'll it's like some friendships or some jobs, right? It'll start off really good for a while. Your friendships, it'll be really good for a while, and then all of a sudden it just feels like you slowly start seeing the true colors of the person. And then it's like you go from like liking and appreciate everything about them and your situation where you are at, to seeing all these things and then realizing, oh no, I actually, this is not a space for me, this is toxic, this, it just
doesn't align with you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to make that choice. Do I remove myself or do I continue in something that doesn't align with me, all for the sake of having a bi-weekly check?
Yeah, and trust me, this is I'm sure everyone would know, like, if you are able to reflect back right now and think about, oh, what would I do tomorrow if I had to, like, that decision, like, how would I be able to make it, especially if you maybe don't have no savings or no net behind you to kind of fall back on, right? Then a lot of the time you'll find people saying, yeah, I can't because I have nothing else. Like, if I stop, and you know what? This is where I think a lot of the time people hurt themselves. They stay trapped in there, and with good reasons.
With valid reasons.
With very valid reasons. It's very hard to have to be forced to take that decision, because obviously you want to choose yourself because you know this situation is toxic, you know it's not good for you, but then at the same time you need the income. You need to pay your bills, you need to, like, this is the kind of environment we live in, and especially for younger generations, because everything is so expensive, it's so hard to save. Especially since COVID too, things have like gone up. Yeah. And it became really hard to save money because it feels like everywhere you go, you're just spending money, right?
It's more challenging.
Yeah. So yeah, it was that situation where I thought, it was from November and December. It was very much where I started feeling all of it. But then I got really good at kind of like being at work, and it's at work, and then leaving work and it's behind me. But then unfortunately, as soon as the holidays started and I took a few days off, I really loved having those days off. It felt like a breath of fresh air. And when I thought about going back, and when I went back, I was like, oh, it just feels like I can't, like, it just feels like I shouldn't be here, And in terms of the cleanse, it's like I had a feeling that it was not gonna last long at all. Like, I felt like in the beginning of the cleanse, like, something's gonna go down. It's not possible that I'm gonna be able to maintain this. And I was trying to do it because obviously steady income, right? I have a partner, I have bills, you have the cats, etc. Like, I have responsibilities, you know what I mean? But funny enough, that morning when I went to work and I grabbed my stuff, I remember very distinctly like hearing myself saying I might not be gone for long, like as if I'm gonna come back at home. And I did not thought of it as, oh, it's just gonna be a day where I'm gonna work from home, decide to leave early and work from home. It was more like I just feel like something's gonna go down without really knowing it. You know what I mean? And it did. I was in there by 7:25 and I left at 7:40 and I quit.
I came home from the gym that morning, and I was like, oh, well, someone is in here. And then I was like, well, were you working? Hey, like, are you working from home? It's like, no, I quit. I'm like, okay. Take slow, subtle steps towards what happened.
Yeah, I thought Ash was pissed at me.
Oh,
to be
yeah,
honest.
No. Only two, multiple reasons. One, obviously, because I think it's, well, generally speaking, I think it's easy to get caught up in the fact that, well, we're partners, and like you immediately start thinking of rent, you know what I mean, and all this stuff, and then you realize that, like, oh, well, someone's gonna have to pick up a little bit more, for the time being, right? In which, like, in our years of being in a relationship, like, there have been moments where, like, both of us have been put in that position to pick up a little bit more, So I wasn't like, plus with everything that I knew already. I already knew how this particular job wasn't making you, it was no longer making you happy, and at first, yes, some things were being brought into the household, and so, for me, you know, business is business. You're gonna leave that outside, and then you come home and it's like it's home. It's a sanctuary, you know. But I had a lot of empathy because I can understand, you know, why it's happening, you know, and it's definitely something that happens, right? You can't help but, you know, because I feel like it's like becomes like a dark kind of cloud that just follows you, you know, and I feel like when you think of it in that way, once you realize that, it's like, oh, like this place isn't good for me, you know, because if you're incapable of leaving it at the door or leaving it as soon as you step out of that workplace, that's a big sign. That's enough to tell you, like, I'm genuinely not happy at this place, and there's a reason why, or reasons why, you know. So yeah, I just came in. I wasn't even looking for an explanation. I wasn't surprised or anything, because like I've been encouraging you to take more work from home days. Yeah, working remotely. Yeah, because I could tell, you know, how much the environment was affecting you, you know, and you know, it just like streamlines down, like from the boss to the employee, from that employee to that employee's partner, like your family and all that stuff. It just, you know, that's just how it tends to go. So yeah, no, I was not upset, angry, like none of that.
So oh yeah, and so okay. So I mean, you were a little upset, girl, because you not at me.
Oh yes.
She
I was
very
upset. Yeah, not at her.
Yeah, not at me. Yeah. But okay, so but yeah, so you know, it's, and I don't know. I just had a feeling, to be honest. And look, right now, the way I've been feeling, first of all, it's free. I feel motherfucking free. Sorry for the cuss, but I feel free as hell. I feel like I'm flying above the clouds. You know, like, and funny enough, I think,
like an eagle.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I feel like it's the first time where I have no stress, like, at all, and I feel like almost too calm. And I don't know if it's just my personality that became like this, or it's just the fact that I'm super happy and that it was meant to happen, or that it's the cleanse that's doing this.
I definitely think it's been an accumulation of things, just your whole journey with, you know, like health and fitness, you know, like reading a lot, like having different, like we've both done a lot of self-work, you know, in the last, like, I mean, for the entirety of the relationship, you know, just keep on progressing. So, you went through some very, you know, great changes, and it's changes in your personality for sure, how you react to things, of course, which is great. So, I think it's like common to, or it's like we think that we should be feeling like panicked, you know, like we should be afraid, you know. It's like, did I really just do that? And then, you know, all the other thoughts start coming in, like, like, well, money and rent and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, luckily for you, you know, you didn't have that. You just felt, you know, if I'm saying this correctly, just so happy to be free, because you, for a while, you continued to make the choice to go to a place that wasn't serving you, because you know, there was something that had a value attached to it, and that was important. And so you kind of sacrificed your putting yourself first in a way, and your mental health, you know, and to be honest, sometimes when your back is against the wall, there is a choice to choose yourself, you know, and that choice can feel extremely hard for people, you know, because usually that's what it is. When, like, there's so many choices that we want to make for ourselves, and obviously with every choice there's the aftermath, you know, the cause and effect or whatever, you know. So for example, being in the situation of, like, I am extremely unhappy for XYZ reason, going, you know, just being at this job and ray, which means blah, blah, blah in patois. I kind of almost lost my train of thought.
Ray Rari,
Right, yeah, I said Ray Rari, which means blah 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 in patois. But you're going to a place that is like this for you, has this effect on you, and in a way, you know, that constant decision of continuing to go is like you're putting some other things first before yourself, and obviously there's reasons behind it. You know, you have responsibilities, you have a partner, right? So it's really hard sometimes, like the you know, the reasons why we're backed up against that wall. You know, most times the reason is because like you have to either choose yourself or not choose yourself in a situation.
So here's what I told my mom. I said, actually, it's funny because I didn't say my back was against the wall. I told her my back was against a locked door. And the decision to quit was me opening the door.
See, I love that. I love that. You know why? Because I talk a lot, or like, and like recently we spoke about how, you know, as you grow, you start to see like walls in different ways. Like maybe at the beginning you saw like steel walls, and as you start to grow, you start to see them as cement walls. Then you start seeing like maybe brick wall, maybe a wooden wall, then a glass, maybe a plastic wall. I don't know. Then until you get to the point where you just realize it's just doors. You know, like when it's just entering a different door and choosing to exit one. So I feel as though, let's say another type of person in your situation, a situation like yours, it's like they might not be able to see see it that way, or it's just like, oh, like it's like this is, you know, I'm staring in front of a ginormous like tall brick wall. There's no way that I could get over this wall. But then, and this is where like, you know, like mental imagery is very important, because you looked at your situation as if there was just a locked door that you just needed to twist the handle. You know, it's about changing your mindset about certain situations, you know, and always remembering that there's a choice in everything, you know. Not to say that every choice that you make is always going to be the best, quote unquote, best choice or quote unquote worst choice. You know, you just have to be able to infer that if you open this door or you decide to close this door, what are some things that could, you know, kind of be of a, you know, a consequence of that. That's all. And then you decide.
It is, yeah. It's like, I think to be able to make this decision, you really have to believe in yourself. Yeah. And be 100. Positive in a way. Like, I don't see how you could take that decision if you're just thinking of your bills, you're just thinking of like all the, like, what am I gonna do after, you're scared. Like, you know, you have to really reach a point that, like, where whatever it is after I'm quitting, like whatever's gonna happen, there's gonna be something good. You have to believe that you'll find something better, that you know, you just, and that's my point of view, right? I'm like, if my back is against the wall or the door this much, it means there's something that's supposed to be happening after. And if I decide to stay at that moment, I will never miss know it. What that is. Yeah, I will miss it, or it'll come but later on, like later, you know. Whereas
circle back.
Yeah, whereas if I take it now, then it's like I'm literally unlocking that door for it to come. And it just didn't make sense to me with the cleanse to drag this on, because it would have impacted my whole cleanse. I just, and it's funny because before we started, I was like, you know what, it would be great to do this whole cleanse 3 months without a job, to be honest, because I would have
Michelle
time
manifested this.
So I said that, I told her that earlier. I was like, I feel like, yeah, maybe I manifested it.
It's something that you wanted.
I wanted like time. I wanted like time for myself, you know. But it is a tricky situation, and when we were talking about earlier, I told you about my mom. I told her I quit, right? And I feel like a while before she would have like maybe freaked out a little bit, right? But I feel like now, even before I told her that I quit, she started talking about how, you know, like people come in your life as like messengers, and that everything in your life is basically like a message, and some people are able to tune in and others just are not able to tune in. And when you're able to tune in, you know that whatever is coming in your life is meant to tell you something in a way. And if you're able to listen, you'll learn something from it. You'll follow the path where it's supposed to be bringing you. You know what I mean? And I thought that was really beautiful. Yeah, but she supported me. She said, "Yeah, if you had kept that on with the clients, you wouldn't have healed. This was just meant to be, and who cares what happens next? You chose yourself, and you decided to trust that there's something better and greater for you." Because from here, you can only go upwards. You know what I mean? And I choose, you know, I could be stressed right now. All I know is I'm done with the stress, bro. I am done with the stress. Life is so simple.
It's so sweet when you just stop stressing, you know?
It's so
I feel like everything in life, sometimes you look at it as if it's like the end of the world. Like... You know,
it's because people make it.
Definitely. You know, it's like how you choose to look at things, right? Like, for example, like closing a door or just and walking through another. You have to kind of like really strongly like believe and hold this mindset that every door that I walk through, you know, I'm walking into something greater than, you know, what I just left. You always have to believe that there's a reason that you're being put against the wall. You know, if you weren't feeling all this pressure, you know, then what does that pressure mean? You know, it's kind of like what I don't know. I can't recall if we talked about like projections.
In what way?
Like people around us. I think we did.
Yes.
Projections.
People,
yeah. So you knowing that this is what you want. You said it already. I would love to do the cleanse without having, you know, having the job, because I mean, besides that wanting, you know, the job still had like, you know, there's the toxicity, you know, and that's why. I'm sure if everything was great,
no problem,
it wouldn't. So that's something that you really wanted on the inside, you know.
Oh, so you mean that because of that it just
came? You made a choice, and it's a choice that you really wanted, you know. And so feeling that more of that pressure and like, oh, you know what I mean, it's kind of like you have to have that moment where it's just like it usually happens like afterwards, you know, after the choice is made, and then you're just like, well, this is what I wanted anyways. Like, first of all, it's like I feel amazing. I feel like so free. And then you realize, well, this is what I wanted anyways, you know?
Yeah, I know this is what I wanted. I was just like, but no, my responsibilities were in my mind. Just, girl, don't be irresponsible right now. You know what I mean?
Let's discuss it before you make any rash decisions.
I could have been on the building like fly like a bird.
No.
And jump like, but I did not. I held it on. I held tight. And then I was like, you know what?
And we talked a lot.
Yeah.
about it. Mm-hmm.
And one thing also that we talked about is the like you have to be very careful also the type of people who are around you, because for me it wasn't necessarily the job, like
the job
like
itself, you loved it.
yeah, the job itself is not a problem. It's the person I was dealing with that was the problem, right? So when you come in an environment or you meet a friend and you know maybe they have a lot of issues, right? And you end up caring for them, and so you give a lot of advice, right? And they come from a background where it was a little difficult for them when they grew up, so they have a lot of baggage, right? And so you're here trying to help, and you're dealing with people who tell you, yeah, they know they've made mistakes, and you know they are aware of everything they have to work on, right? And they almost give you hope that this is something they want to work on and get better, and so you kind of go with it and believe that, yeah, if they say it, it means they probably mean they really do want to get better. And so you play along and you really want to help them until you start slowly realizing that it does not matter what you say or do. They make progress to a certain extent, right? But you reach a point where you realize that sometimes when people talk, it's full of shit. Because they may tell you, oh, yes, I want this and that. I want to feel better. I want to work on myself.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. And then you realize by their action that it's actually bullshit.
Yeah, it's just who they are at that point, you know. And I feel like when we do come into the lives of those types of people who are in certain circumstances, right, or who had a rough background, we start, you know, building the potential.
Yes.
Which in a way is unfair to ourselves and the other person. And one thing that I've you know, had to learn the hard way, and will never forget it when my cousin told me this. Sometimes you need to look at things like apparently, just like in an apparent way, you know? And I definitely believe that actions speak louder words. Like someone, like I gave the example that I could tell you right now, I mean, I do have to do this tomorrow, but I could tell you right now, I'm going to wake up for school in the morning. Now, what actually guarantees that I'm going to do that? Nothing, right? It's just words, because I could decide to sleep in and then not go to class, you know? Yeah. Right? It's action. So sometimes when you have I don't know, like a very just magnetic aura, you know, like you, and it's not to say that, oh, like, you know, it's like I'm a good person and that's a bad person. That's not what this is, you know what I mean? But with people who just have a very generous, like, spirit, you know, who's able to think outside the box and put themselves, their minds in some kind of capacity in, you know, as the other, put themselves in the shoes of the other. You obviously, like, you get that empathy and that compassion, right? Because after all, we're human, you know? Yeah. But at some point, you get to the point of realizing, yeah, or like the patterns are just still the same. And you, at that point, you have to make a decision, you know? And even whatever that decision is, not making that decision is still making a different decision. Yeah. You know? And, and with every decision, you have to think, like, is this actually going to be serving me? Like, am I happy doing this? You know? Nothing wrong. Like if you want to do something and you know you're not going to be happy doing it, that's fine. You know? If that's the choice you want to roll with, then go with it. You know? You may complain every day of your life, you know? But if that's what you want, then do it.
No, the thing is, for me, that's where I draw the line.
Complaining, yeah, complain. Like don't. I mean, to themselves, if they want to complain to themselves. But for someone who's like consistently complaining to me, and obviously it's like you want the alternative, you know. Talking does nothing. I'm sorry, I'm just that type of thinker. Like, talking does nothing. You could, you know, I mean, look at the best persuaders, you know, like talking will only get you, the so far,
Like
right?
politicians.
You gotta obviously,
We're
politicians,
simply voting for the best liar. That's it. I'm telling
technically,
you.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah. Just which one of the bad apples?
Has any of the person you've ever elected really changed your life? Did you ever ask yourself this question?
Write an essay and then we'll do a submit box.
No, that's
I would actually want to read those though.
No, but listen, that's true. Like, who have you ever elected, like, really, that really changed your life on your level? Everyday life, you can tell, ever since they got elected, my daily life has been really better.
Nobody's perfect, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But you know how it rolls.
Yeah, it's more complex
government.
than that, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah. I feel like for me it can be tricky because I get attached to people, and I almost got tricked, right? This is what we were also talking about earlier, how like you get tricked because these people sometimes, by the way they tell you, they're gonna keep making mistakes, and they got a little better and they're working on themselves, they're trying. You kind of get in the position where you're like, wait, am I going crazy? Are they actually making progress or doing things, or is it just bullshit? And I think
it's because there are some people who they're very aware of what they're doing, and so when someone is telling us, like, hey, I know, I'm blah blah blah, I'm working on myself and blah blah, you're just like, oh, they're aware of the problem. Like, so it's not like, because it's different when I mean, I personally feel like a lot of people just know what they're doing, and just ignoring it.
I think everyone does.
But for some people are just oblivious, so to say the least. But people like that, it's like they know what they're doing. And so, you could get tricked into thinking like, well, because they know that, like, they are conscious, they're going to make conscious decisions to fix that problem because they're aware of that problem. And it's just like, no, the person is simply just telling you, what they think you need to hear in order to get you off of them, because they're not willing to actually put in the investment in themselves.
This is so energy draining. Like, I'm
people like that are very energy draining.
I don't have time for no one. I don't have time for no one who's gonna do like this. The thing is, at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to judge whatever, but we all know what we want deep inside. We all know, like, when you call your friends, and you're like, oh, this has happened with my other friend, and oh, like, what should I do, blah blah blah. Like, a lot of the time you call to hear what you want to hear, right? You want to be reassured that your friend is gonna tell you
what you want to hear.
A lot of time, a lot of us, even with our friends, we're not honest. Now wait, I'm going to be honest, and trust me, it has cost me some friendships. Okay, but I am going to be honest, because for me, friendship is, if you fuck up, I am going to tell you fucked up, and you should be okay hearing this and be a grown-up and react like, okay, you're right, I fucked up.
I prefer a real ass bitch over, to be honest. I'd rather you just give it to me straight.
Tell me,
like, let's be for real.
I might be pissed for a while, pissed at you,
but at the end of the day, did you get the message?
And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be like, okay, you know what, you were right, cool, I fucked up, like, whatever. But those of you who call, like, you're a little sneaky about it too. You don't really say your peace of mind. You kind of say, this is what kind of happened and what do you think, and then you let your friends kind of tell you, like, it's like it's
just seeking assurance, in a way, because I feel like there are people who are going to give you that, and there are people who are not, right? So you're gonna call the person that that is gonna soften it up for you. That's what it is. Versus, I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I've definitely done that, you know, because I'm just like, oh, like, you know, if I just
If you just be honest.
yeah,
then
listen, I'm a
like,
Capricorn. Our words could just kill you.
Yeah, I can confirm as a partner. I can confirm.
If we let ourselves go there, our words could just give you an anxiety
pain.
attack, a heart attack, just every cardiac arrest.
You'll find yourself in the hospital in 2 seconds.
And we didn't have to do nothing. We just had to say something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely been in those moments, you know, where it's just like, oh, I don't want to, like, you know, I don't want to hurt the person, you know.
But then
at the same time, you're choosing to. But at the same time, it's not your responsibility, you know. And so that's how it kind of ties in back into, like, you know, the situation, you know, with your workplace, is that I'm sure in the beginning it's like you try to be a little more like soft and more like kindred and all that stuff, and then when you start seeing that, oh, like nothing's changed, like the patterns are still there, and like it doesn't,
this is where
it's
I
like
stop respecting you.
Exactly, and that's what it is. It's like when a person starts to like lack respect for you, oh, the dynamic changes.
Yeah,
the dynamic changes for sure, because you don't think and you don't see about them. See them in the same light you used to, and you can't help it because you genuinely just lacked it
is harder when it's a high figure, or like a boss, right?
Definitely,
because it's also your job, so you have to maintain like a certain level of respect, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I know when it comes to me, like when I reach that point where you've shown me that you just talk and you're no action whatsoever, I'm not gonna lie, the way I'm going to talk can be so cold that it'll be condescending. I'm not gonna lie, this is what it is. Yes, it's because at that point, and it's so rare, I don't think it really ever happened in my life except maybe for one other person. I will not mention that here, but it did happen, I think, for one other person, and now that actually has changed. But before, I know that
is it because it's like does it tend happen when like you reach the like end of your wits, like
it's like I feel
like you just stop giving a damn?
No, it's not even that. I still give a damn because obviously I feel like you feel that way because you still care for the person, right? But unfortunately, at that moment, I just reach a level of like pity and almost, I don't want to say disgust, but almost disgust, because it's like when you see someone like that's maybe higher, like a parent or like a brother or a sister that's like
you start
older
seeing their
than
true
you.
colors.
Someone who's older than you, who's supposed to show you examples, right? So for me, that's kind of important. Okay, so if I have like a higher figure in that sense or that term, right, that's showing me how like they're behaving like they should not, and showing that as an example, I just start feeling a sense of disgust, because I'm like, you're supposed to be like showing me better, you know, be the mature figure, and what you're saying and what you're doing are two different things, and I don't respect that. It's misaligned. I don't respect that at all, and with that will come like it'll feel like disrespect is, and I don't like to see it as I am disrespectful. I'm not. It's just that I care about you so much, but what you're showing me is so like disgusting that now all I have left for you is just disdain. Is that a word? Like it's just like
like they put a bad taste in your mouth.
And so the way I'm going to address you is going to reflect that. Like I cannot hide it. The way I tried to manage it at work was to keep quiet, which made it hard for the person because it's cold, right?
There's no communication.
It's bare communication, only communicating about work. And for them, it's going to be very drastic change, right? But yes, that person is going to feel like I'm disrespecting them in some ways, which it is. In some ways, it is, right? And it is hard for me because I still want to learn to maintain respect and not reach that level where that impacts me and them in this way. But at the same time, that's why I don't like staying in those situations, right?
Yeah, because you know what it does to you.
Because I know what it does to me.
Fair.
So in that sense, in that situation particularly, it was hard just because it was work. But if it was someone in my life, I would cut them off. Because I don't want to be in that situation. I hate
where you have to, where you find yourself disrespecting the person. Yeah. I understand.
That's not a good feeling, right? Yeah. So
that's what all can also come with having your back against the wall, where it's just like against the door, against the glass ceiling. Just recognizing how the environment is making you change in a way where you don't like. Like you're like I mentioned earlier, it's like, I'm sure there are moments where you're just like, I'm bringing it home, like I brought it home, and it's affecting Ash. You know what I mean? It's not good. And also just for yourself, like, it's making me like dread getting up and going to this place where like so I feel like it's important when you see that something is like actually affecting you as a person in a negative way, you definitely need to exit.
You need to exit. And and I get it,
because it could turn and transform you into someone you're not gonna you're gonna look in that mirror and be like what happened.
And to be honest, when if you, and a lot of people are in this situation, so definitely some of y'all are probably gonna be in this situation. And if you do, like, just know, to do this, you have to, before you do this, before you quit, you really have to make sure you're doing it in a positive mindset. Like, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that there's more for you. That better. When you take that hard decision, you're gonna be gifted something better, just for making the decision to choose yourself, right? And I think a lot of people are not doing that. A lot of people don't see how their thought affects their world, right? We talked in another episode about we are all mirrors of each other, right? And so if you're gonna quit and have a negative thought about it and see it as, when I quit, this bad thing is going to happen and this bad thing is going to happen.
Never wish the worst for yourself or someone else, even after you exit. Just you have to tell yourself, I wish you the best. You're not working for me though. Bye.
Yeah. You have to bullshit yourself into saying everything's gonna be good after, and you have to
fake
make
it till you make it sometimes.
Yeah, you have to make sure you believe it real hard. You have to believe that, I'm gonna quit and everything will be good after. And you have to rehearse it, tell it to yourself several times so that it becomes an actual thing. And actually earlier my mom told me something in that same conversation. She was like, never insult yourself.
100%.
She was like, people keep saying, and before I told her that I quit the job, right, she was like, people are around you, do you really listen to people? She was like, listen to people, because they'll say like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm
a lot of people talk down to themselves, and I'm just like, everyone else out there in the world is like, leave that to other people outside of you. You be your number one champion.
Listen, bad things happen to me, right? And at work, remember, that's why he says, right?
Oh yes.
Bad thing, I have bad juju, right? I have bad juju.
That's why you got bad juju, because you put a curse on yourself.
I'm gonna die. Maybe I'm gonna die in my same apartment I've been there for. I might die at work. Like, all these things, and you think it's so little. You think it's a joke. It's
just
never
sayings.
A joke.
Yeah, it's never
your
just
words.
Saying. They hold power.
Are like a magic wand that you
abracadabra.
Exactly, abracadabra to yourself.
It's important, the type of thing, like the way that you talk to yourself. And I've definitely been in those moments where like someone will be like, I'm just like, no, you're not. You gotta always transform it to the positive, because people don't realize that your brain listens to you. It listens to you.
People don't. I don't think people know the power of words, though, because the thing is, when we talk about these things, it's like, what are you talking about? It's just words.
It's as simple as this. Okay, we got a little. What stone is this on the table?
Rose quartz.
A rose quartz. So you have the thought to pick up the rose quartz, and then there's a response. You pick up the rose quartz. You know, it's as simple as that. Your brain listens to you. It listens to you. So
that
if you
example was funny.
So, I'm just trying to illustrate it in a very simplistic way. You know, it's like it is really that simple. Like,
yeah, I think we're so detached that, you know, a lot of people, they'll listen to this, right? And they're like, oh, it's bullshit. Like, the world is not like this. It's not that spiritual. And no, you know, it's not like everything you say kind of like, no. But the thing they feel, you know what they fail to realize? The people you idolize, the movie stars, the singers,
they believe in themselves.
They believe in themselves so much so that
yeah.
they made it there. And you know what they also believe? They believe that words are everything. They believe in a lot of the things you would call shit.
Do you know how many athletes, you know, they do like visual exercises? Like they, for example, Michael Phelps, I believe, the swimmer, and he would do these visual exercises of him winning, you know, swimming, whatever, and always winning. And those were extremely helpful for him.
I'm for a lot of other athletes too, and if you're into sciences, it's been proven that like when you exercise your imagination and you visualize yourself working out certain muscles, it actually physically grow. Now it won't grow to the point where you see like a big difference, but it's monitored and it grows. So that's to tell you actually the power of the mind. And sometimes it's not even, that was even last week with my mom also a conversation. It was like, sometimes it's not even about the body. You can eat well, you can eat very healthy. And it was when I was trying to figure out why he died, the founder of Apple. What's his name again?
Oh, I can't recall. Sorry, I'm not a
people
techie
are
girl.
gonna roast us.
Was it Steve?
Steve Jobs?
I'm not a tech girl.
Okay,
you know.
Okay. Steve Jobs. Yes, it's Steve Jobs.
Don't judge us.
Okay, but him. So
did you say Steve Jobless?
I realized that he was actually most of the time a fruitarian, like a plant-based, like fruitarian, you know, and he died of pancreatic cancer. And I was very intrigued because I was like, how could he have died of pancreatic cancer knowing that he's on a fruitarian diet, the very same diet that actually has been known to heal cancers? Like, I mean, you can find it online. People talk about it all the time. Plant-based diet will heal cancers and diminish cancers, right? Now, I'm still not saying that you won't die, you will die, you know. But what I'm saying is it definitely reduces your chance of getting all of these like cancers, right?
Not and you will die, you still might die. There's still a possibility.
Okay. You still, okay. But so I was like, how is it possible that he died with cancer? And he even said that he was trying to heal himself from the cancer because obviously he knew diet was very important. And you know what else I realized is that a lot of these people that have the big companies, etc.,
they're up in high places.
They are up in high places. Oftentimes they eat very healthy. 1, 2, they eat 1 meal a day. So their body is constantly healing all the time because they're not digesting. And so while all of you are out there thinking that, oh no, this diet, think about the people who own the businesses you go shop at, the places you go buy your groceries, the singers you listen to, the movie stars you admire. Look into their lives and see if you can find what they eat and what they believe in. And then see how the very same things you don't believe in, they believe, and see how it'll change your mind maybe, or cause you to want to research, right? Because obviously if you like them, it means you like the way they might be thinking, you like the way they live their lives, and it's worth it to you to research it, you know, because oftentimes it'll opposite your own beliefs, and then it'll make you question your beliefs, and then maybe from there it'll trigger something, right? But to that point, later on, I realized that, maybe he was not drinking herbs, because herbs are nutrition as well, right? So maybe he was not drinking herbs. And then I listened to an interview and it said that you might eat very healthy, But if your mind is sick, it doesn't matter what you eat, you will not heal. And so knowing that he had a big company, he was probably stressed, you know, maybe in his mind, he was so focused on, oh, I need to heal this. I need to, you know, what can I do to heal? Maybe that, unfortunately, it just didn't work for him.
I'm sure, you know, he understands that mindset is very important. So that would be interesting to research on.
Yeah. Because so far from everything, it's like it's rare, you know. And what's funny is I was telling you that Aston Kutcher, who was supposed to, I guess he played his role, also adopted the same diet and also got pancreatitis twice. And then he was like, wow, it's dangerous. He had to go to the hospital. And Steve Jobs, whatever, he died from a pancreatic cancer. So Aston Kutcher must have been like, this is effed up. Like, I'm pretty scared, you know.
Comes with the role.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So that was very interesting. So it made me ask a lot of questions because I was trying to figure out, okay, what the hell happened, what? And then I figured, yeah, your mind is actually the most powerful. You know, it can overpower your body a lot of the times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, you're it's like exercising and you just feel like, oh, like it's so tough, like you're doing push-ups, so you're supposed to do 10 push-ups and you want to stop at 7. It just feels so hard. But if you just tell yourself like, just 3 more, you know, like you could do the whole 10.
But
you just 3
I can't
more,
push it, but it's true.
you know, like you have to
it's
push
true.
your mind, and your mind will, you know, it'll you know, generate the energy for the body to keep on pushing.
It is true.
Yeah. So I guess the point that we're making here is that, you know, while doing the cleanse, the mindset is extremely important. And, you know, of course, I'm sure there are people who are in situations where, you know, maybe they want to try a cleanse and maybe they're in the same boat as you. You know, that's why we're sharing this, you know, because I'm sure, there are people out there who are possibly in the same boat, right? And, you know, you pick and choose your battles, right? And there's nothing necessarily right or wrong about that. You know, you just pick which battle.
I picked to fight. I was like, I'm ready to go sell my ass. I'm kidding. I'm ready if on Monday I have to already like be like, look on the jump hut, whatever, to get like, I don't care what I have to do.
you were willing to like
Absolutely.
to deal with the after effects.
I
it's like, okay, I understand that if I leave my job, I'm still going to actively look for work.
And I never saw it as like
a burden or something like that.
Or not even that. I never saw I'm going to struggle. Absolutely not. I was like, I'm feeling free. This is supposed to happen. There's something better for me there. I don't see a struggle there. I'm like, this is good. I don't want to say this is going to be very easy, and I don't want people out there to be like, like, how can you? Yes,
certainly not that easy. Like,
no, but sometimes you gotta believe in what you say. Like, if I don't want it to be hard, I don't want it to be hard. I want it to be easy. I'm gonna find something.
Yeah, it's like I definitely think people make things harder for themselves. You know, by like, oh, well, finding a new job is going to be hard. And then you kind of build up the lack of energy about like job hunting and stuff. Like, you've already set yourself up for failure.
And you know what they do is that you, first of all, you talk like this, right? You talk, it's negative. Oh, it's going to be so hard to find a job. And then you apply for a job you really like, you don't get it. Or several jobs you really like, you don't get it. And then you're going to say, oh, see,
it just
I
reaffirms
told you so.
The belief that seed you planted in your head.
Exactly.
You know?
And so whose creation is it really? Whose creation is it really? Could it be that if you had said that it's going to be so easy, I'm going to find a job, that very same job could have been yours? Imagine. You will never know.
Yeah, maybe like you got an interview, but because, I mean, let's say if the person made it to the interview, you know, it's like you're thinking, like it's going to be hard. Like, imagine all the other people that are competing for this, you know, and it's just like you gotta try not to think about things in those types of terms. You know, you just think about why you're applying, you know, you showed up to the interview, you know, and you're really just explaining why you're the perfect person. You're not thinking about anyone else. You know, so there's just so many different ways and techniques to use when it comes to combating, you know, setting yourself up for failure, you know, especially through your thoughts, because your thoughts do affect your actions, you know, because you start building up these beliefs, your own beliefs, you know, people will build up belief systems about themselves that actually it's working against them rather than for. And like I said, like, you have to be your own your number one champion. You know, you have to be your number one supporter is you. Like, after all, it's your life. Like I can't hop inside Michelle's body and live her life. You know, I don't know what she's thinking. You know, so you are the star player.
You've got to be raw with yourself.
Exactly. Honestly, you have to be real with yourself.
You have to be organic with yourself.
You have to be organic with yourself. Facts.
Yeah, you have to be raw with yourself. You have to, you know, stop
just be honest with yourself and just be transparent about, you know, it's okay if you want something, for example, like, quitting your job, if that's what you want, it's okay.
And it's okay if you don't know, but as long as you look and you keep looking, you know, because I was there too. Most of my life I was there. I don't know where I'm going. You know, and can I tell you right now, I know where I'm going, maybe a little more, because definitely I see a path like that's like open for me into health. Like, I really love it, right? But for this whole time, I never really knew where I was going. But the whole point is, I was constantly searching. I was constantly putting myself out there, making myself available for opportunities, saying yes, you know, and that leads you somewhere. You will find your way all the time. You just have to keep looking, be willing, be open, be positive, you know, just you have to want to find something for yourself that makes you wake up every day and keep pushing all the time, right? Because it's easy to let go and just, you know, did we ever talk about it? Yes, we have talked about it, where sometimes you just want to stop and do nothing because you realize every day you have responsibilities, so you're
constantly overwhelmed.
You're constantly overwhelmed, constantly doing things, and sometimes you just want to let go. But the key thing is, like, you have to continue, you know. And in that sense, life can be draining a little bit, you know, because you're never at rest. You're constantly moving. But hey, that's how the universe works. There's always motion. It's one of the principles. Motion. There's always motion, always movement. So, yeah. We're good?
I believe so.
All right, we're good. So guys.
I'm a grandma.
See, that's what I'm saying. She got to stop saying that.
What?
Say you're young.
I'm young. But also young. I'm a grandma because I'm just like, you know, I'm like, I need to go rest my head, get under the covers and put a magic bag on my feet, stay warm and crispy, you know.
Okay, so, yes, let's get you to bed, my dear. And then she's going to snore on my ears.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good morning,